The 4x400 meters relay for women. 2 heats again, just with the men, the first 3 in each, and 2 more on times to progress to the final. So a very strong British squad here. They can afford to leave out Lavia Nielsen and indeed possibly Anika Nawara as well. We'll just run down the teams here. From the outside, Ireland, who've made big progress at the sprinting in recent years in women's athletics. Then Spain, Bueno, Para, Sanchez and Boquesa as their lineup. Then we have Switzerland. Well, they don't have Leia Sprunger running for them. I'm not sure they've got a team good enough for the final. We'll see. Amar, Schurman, Pellau and Giga. Then the Germans squad, who were fifth rather in Amsterdam 2 years ago. They've got Gonska, Schwab, Palic and Mergenthaler. Then Great Britain run Zoe Clark, Finette Akepong, Mary Abici and Emily Diamond. So no Lavia Nielsen, of course, will run in the 400 meters individual final. Also not choosing to run Anika Onwara, who they could bring in for the final. Italy, they're probably at full strength here. They were third in Amsterdam. They've got Chikbalu, Folorenzu, Lucudo and Grenot. Slovakia have Zabletalova, Butalova, Lenechka and Bezekova. And Poland on the inside run Mentai, Montero, Azevedo and Evora. This year, the British squad have a fastest time, 3:26.48, or A squad from Britain. And then Italy and Switzerland have run sub 3:30 times. As I say, the Swiss, useful team, but without Leia Sprunger, I wonder. Gonska, the national champion on the individual event at 400 meters, goes off for Germany. And Zoe Clark, the Scottish runner who ran for them in the Commonwealth Games, leaves off the British team. Finette Akepong second, hasn't run very many 400 meters, has shown terrific potential at 200, but is proving to be a very strong 400 meter relay runner. She'll go second for the British squad, who'll be followed by Mary Abici, formerly Ieke, and then Emily Diamond, who's probably the most experienced of this quartet. Portugal, Slovakia, Italy, Britain, Germany, Switzerland, Spain and Ireland. 3 of the top 5 nations from the 2016 European Championships in Amsterdam. Britain, Italy, Germany, first, third and fifth respectively. Zoe Clark leading off for Britain. She was probably Britain's #1 last year, but was pipped for a place in the individual team here very narrowly.
Set.
Away successfully. Zoe Clark leading off for Britain, Gonska leading off for Germany, just outside her. Italy have Chikbalu, who we saw in the individual event. And a very good start by Britain and Germany. Also Spain going well. Laura Bueno out in lane 7 has gone off quickly for Slovak Republic. Zabletalova, who also we saw run very well in the individual event, though now Chikbalu of Italy is going away from her, it would seem. But a very strong run by Bueno of Spain, and Zoe Clark has done the job very well for Britain. She's up on Gonska outside her, so coming up to the first takeover when we can see who the leading teams are. I think it's going to be Britain. Yes, it is, but probably Spain almost identical, so it's now Finette Akepong running for Britain, Aminia Para running for Spain, and then for Italy, Folorenzu, the 400-meter hurdler, has moved into second place overall. Finette Akepong, as I said, has shown talent with medals and wins at 200 meters, but is destined to be a 400-meter runner, one thinks. And she's doing her job very well here. Tracked by the Italian for Lorenzo. And the gap quite a way back now. So, coming up to the next changeover, Maria Bici will take over for Britain, but the Italians almost level. And for Italy, it's Locudo.
Good run from Coloronzo there after a very disappointing 400 metres hurdles outing.
Well, the German team who ran well early on have slipped back rather in the standings. It's way out in front now, the Britons and the Italians. The Germans have changed from Schwab to Parlic. Trying to make ground further back. But no question about the first two here, and of course it is first three anyway that matters. For Italy, Locudo will hand over to Grenot, and Emily Diamond taking over in second place for Great Britain. Slovakia have run really well throughout, Germany now chasing. So the battle could be on for third place, the Irish well at the back of the field at the moment. But quite a tussle. Diamond has now decided to go ahead of Grenot. Still matters, of course, because good positions could well improve the lane draw when it comes to the final. So not just a question of easing through, a little bit of a battle on between Diamond and Grenot here. Grenot, a very experienced runner, does appear to be making the round through, so taking Italy through. Well, Italy, I think, are at full strength here. Britain can bring in a couple of reserves. Very strong finish further back, incidentally, by the German team. But not quite enough, perhaps. Well, Italy winning there in 3:27.63. That's the season's best for their squad. Britain comfortably through in second place. Germany holding on, 3:31.77 in third. So, not sure if they've got anywhere else to bring in, Michelle, on the final for Germany, or is that their full strength?
I wonder, I mean, I normally know that they've got Ruth Sophia Spielmeier, but I don't know whether she's injured. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen the full team list in front of me.
That could make a difference. Switzerland, anyway, who did finish very well, 3:32.11 in fourth place. And, well, we'll have to see whether that's... Oh, sorry, not Switzerland, I mean Slovakia, 3:32.11 in fourth place. And then Switzerland behind them, 3:32.86. So those are the times that we'll be looking out for when it comes to the second of these races. So we know that Italy and Britain are through, and we're not sure, Britain, Italy and Germany are through, and we're not sure about the next two.
Emily Diamond there on the left side of the field, a really strong relay runner as well.
Yes, good consistent runners, and of course Britain, as I said, can certainly bring in, and are likely to, Lavia Nielsen after she's run the 400, and quite possibly the very experienced Annika Onyora.
So from the outside in, we've got Greece on the outside with Vasiliou, Morta, Sigori, and another Vasiliou. Greek relay there. And then Romania in lane 7 with Miklos, Balan, Belgian, and Razor. Lane 6, that is the Belgian relay I briefly mentioned. Camille Laus already in the 400 meters. Cynthia Bolingo Mbongo performed really well. Relay 10 class joining the pair. Then there's the French relay, Diarra, Rahul Rari, Sananes, and Perrossier. Lane 4, one of the very strong relays, Poland, with Holub, Kowalik, Vysheshevich, Kaczmarek and Dabrowska. And in lane 3, the Ukraine with Klimyuk, Mikulenko, Brezhina and Melnik. And then Lithuania in lane 2 with Mizunite, Moriskaite, Galvidaite and Kruminaite. And in lane 1, Sweden with Hellqvist, Helmer, Magnussen and Duffy. So this is the lineup for this second 4x400 meters heat. Top 3 go through, and then the fastest 2 non-automatic qualifiers from these 2 heats. So lane 1, Sweden, Lithuania in 2, Ukraine 3, Poland 4, France 5, Belgium 6, Romania 7 and Greece 8. And they're off. We mustn't get too carried away with the distances between the athletes because of course the staggering is slightly different in the relays here. But on the outside of Poland there, France looking pretty strong, already making up ground on the Belgian. Other than that, it's still pretty evenly spread, but the French runner, Ella Mariana Diarra, making up ground on Camille Laus in front of her, who already has a couple of 400-meter races in her legs. As they now come around the bend on the outside, the Greek team looking pretty strong as well with Anna Vasiliou. Also looking good, the Belgians now making up ground on the Romanian team. As we now approach the Polish team, the first to hand over the baton there in lane 4. Very good relay indeed. We've seen it with the men's indoors, the women indoor won a medal at the World Indoor Championships, and now really good running there from Patricia Vysheshevich.
Well, just before her, Margarita Holub-Kovalik ran a splendid leg. She made up a lot of ground in the home straight.
As we now have Poland leading the way from France and Belgium. Another fantastic leg there from the Polish relay, as France is now in second with Agnes Rahat-Rolai and the Belgian athlete Bolingo Mbongo, who's had a fantastic 400 meters individually, set personal best in 2 races. Poland still in the lead, well clear of the rest of the field, so not getting themselves into trouble. Now there we can see the Polish athlete really far ahead, but then we have France straight behind the athletes there. Deborah Sanin is a very experienced runner herself, closing down on the Polish runner and leaving a bit of a gap behind her, ahead of the Belgian team there. Really strong run there from the French woman Sanane as she closes the gap on Natalia Kaczmarek, the Pole. Now really good performance there, holding on from the Polish athlete, extending that gap again as she hands over to Martina Dabrowskawa, and the Belgian relay still in third. So for now we have Poland, France and Belgium. Poland's Martina Dabrowska looking very good indeed. Now the French athlete really trying to close that gap on the back straight, striding away from the Belgian team, but behind them is a really close battle for 4th, 5th and 6th developing between the Ukraine, Sweden and Romania. Now closing in on the pole is the French woman. Really strong run there from Perrossier, but the pole now striding away again. Fantastic performance there from the 2, and Belgium really closely has that safe, and Romania coming through for 4th. I think Sweden might have pipped the Ukrainian on the line there. So we'll have to wait and see. So the winning time, 3:28.52 for Poland. Very good relay runners indeed, the Poles are. There is the Belgian relay celebrating their third automatic qualifier spot. France gets second in 3:28.61, Belgium 3:30.62. Romania, they're faster than the two qualifiers in that previous heat, so through. And then we're just waiting, had a bit of a change there for that fourth. As it was close, Sweden
Have not met.
no. So Slovakia from that first heat gets the final qualifying spot. Good race there from the Swedes, but just not quite good enough. Just shy of that 3:32.11 we saw in that previous heat.
Now, Poland and France, the first two teams. Now, we were speculating before about whether the British would change their team with Nielsen. But Poland and France, it's almost inconceivable to me that Poland wouldn't want to bring in Swiatek Ercetic, who's a brilliant relay runner, and even more so, inconceivable the French wouldn't have Floria Gay, despite the fact that she'll have run an individual 400, because she's such a brilliant relay runner.
Well, the Poles don't just have Swiatek Ercetic in reserve, they've also got Baumgart-Witten. Both finalists, though, and so they face the same dilemma as the British do with Nielsen.
Baumgart maybe not, because she's not so much, but Swiatek is such a brilliant relay runner that I'm sure they would want to bring her in.
Well, they look pretty comfortable there. As we can see, the French woman, that's when she came close to the pole there over the final meters. Romania did a fine job getting away from the other two relays. And there we can see the winners of this second heat.